good morning, YouTube viewers, good morning, Facebook Nation, good morning to all people, all colors, all races, all languages, no matter where you are on the face of this earth, men, women, and children. May you have the most beautiful day. May you have an awesome day. And for whatever goals that you have set forth for yourself on this day, may those goals come to fruition. And may those goals encompass a positive benefit for all of humanity. And with that, a great day. So today's topic, as I said, I'm moving away because we need to, I think in this time, we really need to be focused on our individual selves, our individual lives. Even though we may be in relationships, whether we're in our social lives, in our workplace lives, and just our overall worldview. And today's title is Embrace the Good in You. And in parentheses, it's start by loving you. So I want to start out, I want to tell you a story that, happened in my life. And this was back when I was in my early 20s. And a friend of mine at that time, I hung out with a group of people, but, it was through this one friend, and me and this one friend were always close, but it was a group that we hung around with. And at that time, it was, I was having difficulty because I was in a relationship. And at that time that I was in that relationship, I was going through some things that I just couldn't understand. And the one thing that he told me, and I kind of got upset at it, and now you figure after years, sometimes you have to wake up and you have to realize that sometimes people are telling you things so far in advance that it doesn't make sense until, you run into the situation. And that situation didn't apply with that comment, and the comment was, he said, you care too much. He said, me, the way I look at life, I don't care. I don't give a F. So he was like, you care too much about, what people, the world and how people think and everything else. And, this is what the problem is. So where I say that the confusion came in was because, he was a womanizer. So, it was easy for him to, pick up a chick and then, leave her, go to the next one, go to the next one. That was his whole MO. And I said, well, look at how you treat people. But then again, the way that his statement should apply and the way that I think he meant it to apply was how I viewed life as I went along through life, where I no longer cared about what people thought. But it didn't make me a bad person because I wasn't doing anyone any harm. I just didn't care about, anything that was pertaining to me, how a person felt about me, or how a person looked at me, how a person would talk about me, or how a person would judge me. I didn't care about that stuff. I never really did. The only time I did was in relationships, and I had to grow out of that, because this is what this topic is all about. So this ties into embracing the good in you. So with that story that I just told you, we know as well as accept that the world that we live in right now has gone corrupt. The lie is prevalent. So much deviousness, so much underhandedness, so much validation seeking, so much hate, so much jealousy. So we know that the powers that be, worldwide, not just here, worldwide, they're all corrupt. I don't care what side, left, right, up, down, sideways, around, they're all corrupt. We know this. But again, going back to, what my friend said, his name is Troy, what Troy said back when we were in our early 20s is holding true now. We as a people, we allow we're allowing this corruption, and the corruption is corrupting us. So we have to realize that, we have people in all different types of offices, and some are in law enforcement, some are in politics, some are in medical, some are teachers, so we know that there's different types of leaders, but money corrupts everything. And when you get to a certain level in life, money will corrupt you. It's just no other way around it. So I just had to do that real quick because I was like, someone came with, put a magnet a few videos back where you were hearing that distortion. When I was in the park, that's what was happening. The guy was sitting there. I remember I said he had a device. It was a magnet because I went and I got my camera checked out, and they were like, have you set your camera next to a magnet? And I was like, no, I don't have any type of magnets. Not even, I don't even keep it close to my phone. So, he's like, yeah, somebody damaged it. They changed something in it. They repaired it. So we should be good except for the wind blowing. But I love nature, and nature is where my home is. So going back to, how the world, and how money corrupts, we're seeing this money grab. We're seeing this greed, but it doesn't have to change us. It doesn't have to allow us, even though we might be next to someone that's doing it. Those are stories for another day. But at the same time, we must put aside what allows corruption to corrupt our families and our social circles. So how do we do that? How do we change people, and get people to listen? It's not to do that. It's to change you. and the people have to follow, because you're not going to allow yourself, you're going to be your best self. And this is what I mean by how to embrace you and how to love you in the right way. And this goes for men and women, because it's a lot of men out there who hate themselves. If you can look at another man, I'm just speaking to men, if you can look at another man and be jealous of what another man has, that's a problem. That is a problem. So, start by loving you, and don't envy what the next person has. Be happy with what you have and work to attain more. Then you appreciate it more. You'll take care of it more. If everything is snatch and grab, look at how many things, this is for all, but think about how many things you have inside your home you don't even use. Don't even use it. It's like you're being told, well, this is the corruption. You're being told. So let's get away from that. How do we fix that? I can come on here and complain and rant and rave, but how do we change it? I'm going to share with you, not only what works in my life, but, just from the research that I've done, because I've researched all of my life. Every topic, everything that has to do with life, I've researched and I've studied. Not to say I'm a rocket scientist. No, I want the truth, because I don't like what's going on around me. So the way we fix it is to remove the false persona. When I say remove the false persona, is think about this. When a relationship first starts, you go to the person, you're like, hey, I'm feeling on you. I'm not feeling on you, but I'm feeling you, and I wouldn't mind sitting down and having a smoothie or something. Do something. And you're on your best behavior, and then if she's accepting of it, she's going to put on her best behavior. This is a false persona. It's not who the person is, but all people are doing it. Me, myself, personally, I don't. I only have one face, and what you see is what you get. And it's like that. So it doesn't allow me to sit back and say, oh, did that person figure me out? So this tells you that we have to start with us. We have to start with getting rid of all these fake personas and become who we are. We've been living these lies, most of our lives, and not just you, not just me, all of us. We've been living these lies. We've been putting on these false personas. But the false personas are actually who you are. Whether you believe it or not, it's exactly who you are. The person that you think, the person that's behind the face, doesn't feel good about themselves. So they have to put on the false persona. But the false persona, the false face is actually you. But behind the mask, you don't feel good about you. And that has to change. And it doesn't take, a lot to change it. It just changes it to say that you're good enough. And understand, and by doing this, life has real meaning. Because now you're living, not just existing. And, this is one of the reasons why life has no real meaning. But it's twice to be said. Life has no meaning when you're living false faces, when you're removing false masks, where one person knows you one way, another person knows you another person knows you another, your job knows you another, your religious circles know you another. So this is the reason why we spend the rest of our lives seeking. This is the reason why we spend the rest of our lives wanting. This is the reason why we spend the rest of our lives searching. When what we're searching for and what we're wanting for and what we're seeking is us, who we are inside. So let that come out and let the world see it. And if the world can't accept it, then you don't need that part of the world around you. And that's the fear of being alone. So change comes with, being alone at some point. Even though you're not alone, but you feel alone because you had so much control over a situation that you were in. But is that situation based on who you are as a person, or how you were able to manipulate the people around you? So now you have to go on and introduce yourself to a whole new group of people. So this is the reason why we're never fulfilled. And even until we pass, most people are unfulfilled. So I just came out today because, start by loving you. And I'm happy to say that when I get up in the morning, I always run to nature. I love nature. And, one of the things, like when I walk the trail and I'm on the trail, I get to talk to some people and, be able to uplift them. But they uplift me as well. Today, two friends, one of them rarely ever speaks. But she was the first one to speak, and her friend is usually the one who always, speaks to me. So, those are the things that make me happy, because it shows that dialogue says that, hey, this person wants the best for everybody. And whether they feel it, it says that I'm willing to take this on. I'm willing to become me, because that's what I always talk to people about. Be the best you and live for you, not for what other people want to see or not what other people want to project. And remember, all up top, everything that's above, all these entities or all these principalities that we have across the country and across the world, they're all corrupt, and we see that every day. That's why we're never out of war, and we're always suffering some way or another. But again, by us being the best us, it shows that we don't condone that behavior anymore. And with, the majority of the people, taking on a persona and saying, look, let's try love instead of trying, everything else. And let's watch some changes happen. And they will happen. But those changes have to happen around you and around your circle, and around that circle gets bigger, and then those circles join. And then we all become, what's best for all of humanity. And that's my purpose in life, that we all have a purpose. And I'm just here to explain that, there was a time when it wasn't like this. So be the best you, embrace the best you, live the best you, and most importantly, love you. Because that's the most important love that there is. And with that, everyone, have a great day. Be the best person that you can be. And for whatever goals that you have set forth for yourself, may those goals come to fruition. And may those goals be a benefit to all of humanity, because we need it, especially now. And with that, everyone, peace, blessings, and love.